Today, we're talking about the Volkswagen ID Buzz, the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, the Fisker Ronin, and the Mustang Darkhorse, and we're going to tell you who builds the ugliest cars. I'm Justin.
And I am Aaron.
I am Arc Driver.
And this is Clutch News. Please subscribe for more great content like this, or just this, I suppose. So, let's start with the Volkswagen ID Buzz.
It's an electric car, so it just leaves me cold like most electric cars do, I think. I mean, I like what Volkswagen is trying to do, to bring back the nostalgia of it all, but it's gone. There's no more hippie bus. Unless they got a 21 window ID Buzz, I don't know that I'm that interested.
Right, yeah, I'm with you on that. So I like the concept of bringing this retro vehicle back in an electric form, but I think the execution was not well done. I don't think it has any of the charm of the original microbus.
A paint job just doesn't do it. From an execution standpoint, I think it's an interesting thing because of the roller skate concept, right? I think it's neat. I hope that it's the beginning of a new retro phase of design.
But it looks like a people mover. I mean, it doesn't look like a vintage bus. I mean, they tried to snub nose it, but it's not snub nose.
Right, I think if you took the Volkswagen badge off and put a Honda badge on, no one would think twice.
I think you're right. Okay, now let's talk about the 2024 Toyota Tacoma.
All right, well, you're the Toyota guy, so...
The Tacomas, really pickups are pickups to me. I'm not really a big into pickups guy, so I haven't really researched a whole lot about the 2024 Tacoma. So I don't know, are they doing something special with it? Are they totally redesigning it? They just, I don't really look at Tacomas all that much. I'm more of a 4Runner Land Cruiser guy.
So the biggest difference is going to be the exterior, and they modernized the interior, and they made it a little more powerful. Okay. So personally, I don't really like the physical redesign of it. But I know it's supposed to be an extremely capable off-roader, which I like. So you like 4Runners, but you don't care about Tacomas.
I mean, Tacomas are fine. It's just, pickups for me, I just never really get out of bed for a pickup truck.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For me, Toyota is Japanese for boring. So, next, Fisker Karma, something not boring.
Fisker Ronin.
Ronin, right. Karma is the old Fisker Vaporware. So let's talk about the new Fisker Vaporware. They have a whole lineup. We're talking specifically about the Ronin, which on paper is cool. 600 miles, 1,000 horsepower, convertible four-door hardtop. Great design from old Henrik. I think it's beautiful looking as the original Karma was. I love it. I think it's cool.
I don't know, that back end just doesn't... It seems like the wheels are maybe too big for it. It just has a weird, funky look to it.
It's an awkward design, but in its own right, it is beautiful.
It's certain angles. You see it at certain angles, you're like, that's a good-looking car, but then you see another
100%.
I like it. It's a $600,000 car in the end.
Oh, you saw 600?
So I saw 300,000 pounds, and I just doubled down.
So Car and Driver thinks it's going to be $300,000.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so who knows? But here's the thing. With any Fisker, are you really buying a Fisker? Because the last time they were super cool, they were right on the edge, and I think a lot of people were kind of left holding the Fisker bag without support. So is Fisker actually going to come out with the pickup truck and the other little family car they're going to do, or this at all? There hasn't really been any production yet. It's all, hey, here's what we want to do, right? So I think that's where Fisker's headed. Now, let's talk about Mustangs.
All right. Darkhorse.
So the Darkhorse. I'll say this. I'll say that I used to think Corvette was the coolest American car made, but the fact that they're giving this car all this power and a manual transmission, if I was going to buy an American car, that would be my number one choice.
Not just a manual transmission, but you got all the controls to really change the performance of this vehicle. This is a straight up track.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because it's probably going to be the last of the big American V8s. The Charger's gone, the Camaro's being discontinued. So, I think this is going to be it. Now, every Ford is a Mustang or a truck, so there's that part of it. This is a really cool Mustang Ford. I like it. I think it's a great addition to it. I think it's going to be something else.
Yeah, and another thing I really like about it is it's got the performance and the power of a sports car, but it's a much more subtle looking vehicle. It's not so flashy like a Corvette.
My only complaint is it going to sound like a hoodlum car like every other Mustang, right? You can tell when there's a Mustang.
Right.
It will, because you can use the programming to alter the exhaust. You can really custom tailor the whole experience of driving to your preferences.
So the last engine, is it the Coyote engine?
It is. It's still fun.
That engine, I know that Mustang people love the way it sounds. It has such an annoying pitch to it. And the owners, yeah, they get their exhaust that amplifies that pitch. I personally don't like it, but we'll have to wait and see what it actually sounds like.
So when we have to go all electric, what will people do? Will it be the one whose car sounds the most like cards in a spoke? Like, what will be the comparison when you've got electric car? Is it a hum? Who has the most aggressive hum?
You don't know. It might be hydrogen, then you sound like bubbles, which is kind of,
Like the Jetsons car? I'm into it. I'm into it.
So there's manufacturers who are hiring movie composers to create sound for the vehicle's engines.
Vivek's lyric had a nice little, it was, to describe it as like a Japanese toilet. It just made this great little toot, 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 toot.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. It was a funny little...
Did it sound good?
I mean, yes, if you like Japanese toilets.
Okay.
so that's great if you can program it so you can use like your old record of the drive.
Right. So speaking of electric exhaust, have you heard about Magnaflow's new exhaust for the Mustang Mach-E?
No. Doing electric exhaust now?
Well, how does that work?
Speakers. Okay. Speakers. I think it's a lot like with the Darkhorse where you're tuning it. I think there's some speakers involved there too.
Interesting. So what would you make your speaker sound like?
I don't know. I'd mix it up a lot, just do a bubble machine sometimes. I'll do a drag racer sometimes.
Wait, what do you mean bubble machine? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
okay, all right.
Like the Jetsons car. See, me, screaming goats. Every time.
I'd have to say some kind of Beethoven, I think.
Okay.
Oh, maybe an organ.
That'd be good. I like your organ sound, dude, again.
I also think the Jetsons sound.
I think that's the ideal sound for an electric car. And okay, so let's get on to what everybody showed up for. Who makes the ugliest cars?
All right, well, I have a definite answer for this. I don't know if you guys feel strongly one way or another.
Okay.
Subaru. You go back 4, 5, 6 years, and I think most of their cars were decent looking. I think that the WRX certainly was. But when I look at their new cars, it's like they're trying to go out of their way to make them ugly. With all the weird angles and the wheel wells and all the like plastic fender extensions and fake intakes and outlets that are so unnecessary.
I'm going to have to recuse myself because my wife drives a Subaru and she is a big fan of the channel. So for me, it's the Tesla. Electric turds with personalized license plates. That's what Teslas are to me. They're awful cars. I just don't like the way they look.
But do you think they're really ugly, or are they just...
No, I think they're ugly.
Okay.
No, I mean, boring is one. Like, Japanese cars, boring. Who cares, right? Teslas, ugly. Like, I actively do not care for the way Tesla looks.
There's not a lot of character.
There's not. They all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
Like I said, electric turds.
For me, I got to go BMW now. I mean, BMW.
That's a contender.
It used to be such a good-looking car, but they were like, oh, let's just stretch this grill out.
So, yeah, you're talking about the grill.
Oh, it's terrible. Wow, the 4 Series. You look so sleek and like such a good, clean car, and then just this giant grill.
Right.
I mean, it's like, come on. All right, look, I want to do something with my teeth here. Let's make him huge.
I think they've got one good-looking car, which is going to be the M2. But I'll agree with you. The rest of their vehicles are pretty lackluster.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that between the Volkswagen ID and the new Z, that we are headed into another era of retro design. It was around 2003, 2004 when we did this last time, and it would be nice to have some retro design going on because while the ID doesn't make my socks go up and down, I think it is retro-ish enough.
I hope so. Let me tell you one company I really wish would start adopting some retro designs is Porsche. Because their cars have gotten so big.
I agree.
And if you look at the front of the 992, it's pretty ugly. Unless you pay for the sport bumper cover, it's pretty ugly. And I just think that their cars in general are not pretty like they...
So how would you feel if Porsche were to step away from the traditional design? Should a 911 always look like a 911? How would you feel if it were a clean sheet design?
I feel like a 911 should look like a 911.
Okay.
Yes, and I know a lot of people don't like that, but let me ask you this. Did you see that 356 show car that they came out with about 3 months ago? It was basically, they took a GT4 chassis and they created a new 356 inspired body.
I did.
I saw that, and man, I mean, what a dream car that would be if you could actually buy it.
Right.
So if they took their actual design language in that direction, I think it would be very exciting.
I think I'd be interested in retroized Porsches, but I think some people would argue that they're all kind of retroized anyway, right?
Yeah, and you're right, they haven't change the 911's design that much. There's a reason the air-cooled cars are worth so much.
Right.
It's because they have that beauty and those curves and those uninterrupted lines and flow, and the modern cars don't have that.
Now, since Porsche does front-engine Cayennes and Panameras, I would definitely be down for a retro 944.
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
How would that? Yeah.
Well, for years, everyone was saying they were going to come out with a new 928.
Right.
And there were so many designs that were showing up.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there was actually one year, Porsche even came out with an April Fool's prank.
Oh, really?
They showed a picture of a modernized 928 and said they're going to produce it.
Porsche, if you're watching,
Make it happen.
that's what we want. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed our opinions here. Please subscribe for more like this. We love talking new cars. And if you have anything that you'd like us to talk about, leave it in the comments below.